Hello, YouTube. I'm back not March, but June 7, 2019. And I'm here to talk about the abortion topic that I knew was eventually going to come to the darn gone Carolina, honey. Everybody else was darn gone following suit. I only knew it was a matter of time before they tried some bullshit over in North Carolina. But surprisingly, I'm on the opposite end of this spectrum. As far as North Carolina's decision with this latest abortion bill. Now y'all know Alabama and all of them were trying to make it a strict where a woman cannot um abort a child as early as 6 weeks, even in cases of incest, rape, um, which I think is wrong, like especially in cases of incest and rape and trafficking, which results in rape. All of those cases, I definitely think you should be able to abort. But they was trying to make it in Texas where you couldn't even abort a baby even in those circumstances, which I think we all can agree is wrong. That in those cases that it definitely should be allowed, especially at the health of the mother as well. But in North Carolina, I actually was for the abortion ban at 5 months because I thought it was quite lenient. Y'all know my personal preference is you should be able to abort as late as 12 weeks. But North Carolina wanted to make a proposal for as late as 5 months, which is quite generous. But then again, we are a swing state. We have some liberal views, and we currently got Roy Cooper in the office as governor, who is a Democrat. Now, like I said, I don't agree with the terminating at 6 weeks. However, I'm not for real late term abortions under, any circumstances as well. I think at 5 months, it should only be in cases of, like the ones I just mentioned, in case of incest, rape and all that, because trauma can happen to a person. I know y'all saying, well, it wasn't the baby's fault, and it gets into a murky situation because it's like, yeah, you're technically aborting a human being at that point, but you got to think of the post-traumatic stress of somebody having to birth their potential own child, or a rape victim. You got disorders such as dissociative identity disorder that can happen due to the trauma of going through that experience, among other psychotic conditions that can happen to the mother from giving birth. Also, the physical strain, postpartum depression can add on. It's a lot of stuff that happens when dealing with childbirth under those types of duress circumstances. However, like I said, I am for in cases of rape and incest, but I definitely am against, the free right of abortion, just because. Like, if it's 5 months and, you had sex consensually, and you just want the darn on abort the baby just because, I don't think that's right. I think, that you could easily give the baby up for adoption at that point. So I'd love to know y'all thoughts on this as far as my females. Well, hell, even the males can chime in on this too. Am I a little bit too strict on putting it at 3 months? Like, what is the go-to restriction date that should be set? I personally think it should be 3 months because the average woman finds out around that time frame, anywhere as late as 8 weeks. Some women don't know until the 8 or 10 week mark. So that's why I say, okay, give them additional 2 weeks, make it 12 weeks. North Carolina, however, they was trying to make it 5 months, and it didn't go through. And then, the punishing doctors as soon as the baby is born. I thought that was naturally common sense that you wouldn't try to. Like I said, I guess it's been enough of an issue where doctors were still doing this, but they also wanted to make a stipulation that if the baby is born alive, you would do everything to save it. Now, I thought that was natural common sense, but I guess, common sense is not so common. But then again, look who we have as president. So, yeah, common sense is definitely not as common anymore. But they also wanted to add that if the baby's born alive, to save it. And I thought, once again, natural common sense. But they wanted to add that in there, and I didn't see no problem with it. Like, what's the problem with, putting in safety measures for a child born alive, as opposed to some doctors who might, since it's not on the books, they will still try to go through the abortion process, because to bring a baby in that type of condition back to health and incubate it does cost quite a bit of money. And you talking about somebody who might be in a financial situation where they can't afford it, the insurance is not there. Now the hospital and their insurance is picking up the dime and all of that. And like I said, it's just a whole mess. It's just confusing me all over. But thank goodness I don't have to deal with this type of situation. But to my women out there who are able to give birth, once again, I'd love to know y'all thoughts on this. Like I said, it is a very complex topic, especially for people in my situation who don't have to deal with this. Like I said, I personally will put it at the 3-month rule, for the exceptions of people of rape, incest, etc. And unless you have to choose on the table between the mother and the child. But as far as the abortion bill in North Carolina, I was definitely here for it. Like I said, 5 months I thought was more than reasonable. And then it also allowed exemptions for those cases, but it didn't pass. Like I said, and I don't know what's going on with the Democratic Party. They just as darn gone confusing as the Republican Party. But y'all leave y'all thoughts down below on this. This ain't going to be a long video. I have to actually finally do the Andrew Yang video. That's why I'm getting darn gone prep for it. But I wanted to do this quick video first to get y'all thoughts on this abortion bill. Once again, I was here for it. 5 months. It allowed exceptions for rape, incest, and danger to the mother during the birthing process. The only restriction was you can't abort a baby that was born alive, and then you try to continue the abortion process. I don't see no problem with, incubating the baby to health. A lot of cake darn on government funds for those types of situations. I mean, hell, we spend upwards of $250 billion a year on darn on war that we don't even need to be in. So why can't you reallocate those funds towards situations like this, especially since y'all are complaining about a birthing crisis? So I understand to a certain extent why this birthing issue is becoming a major epidemic across the United States, because we are dealing with a decline with a certain racial group of people, not necessarily mine, but other racial groups are struggling to reproduce. And to overcome that, you're now trying to overturn Roe versus Wade and to force people to have more babies, since it's not happening. But the problem is, if you're trying to force somebody to have a baby and they're not in the financial situation to do it, nor if they want to for whatever reason, what you're going to do is have a lot of back alley abortions, and that don't just happen in the black community. That happens in the every community. So it's like that hasn't even been addressed either. You're going to have a lot of clothes hangers and all of that when you talk about shutting down Planned Parenthood versus having the options to have it surgically done, as opposed to doing the rig nigging with the darn on clothes hanger and darn throwing yourself down the stairs, drinking bleach, having somebody punch you in the stomach. We don't want none of that. So if I was, a part of the Senate, because I think this would have to fall under the Senate as opposed to the House, what I would implement is a compromise. I will make it where the restriction date will be 3 months, where you can have an abortion for whatever reason. Anytime after that, it has to only be in case of rape, incest, or if you have to choose between the life of the mother or the baby on the actual table during the birth. Also, I will put in for cases where the baby was born alive after a failed abortion attempt, those doctors are obligated to save that baby and incubate it to health. The parent do not have to take on the child. They will sign the rights away over to the state, and the baby will go into adoption. Because if you was trying to abort the baby, obviously you was not expecting for you to go home with a baby. So in the case if the baby survives, it can automatically go up to adoption. I think we as America, we supposed to be the most wealthiest country in the world. I think we could easily set up some sort of financial system to, you know, pay out these hospitals to allow for something like that to happen. But those are just my 2 cents on it. I'd love to know y'all 2 cents. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all soon with more videos. Mwah.